music went down and everything. Serious. So we are raffling off some really cool serve pedals. I think there is 3 of them. So everybody sign up for a raffle ticket with this young lady, Miss Brooke, right here. So if you have not seen her and gotten a ticket yet, please make sure that you do, because I would love Well, thank you guys for coming out. It's been an awesome day. There is a ton of food out front that we have collected. I think we're way above 2,000 pounds now. No, sorry. It's not for you. So we are very happy and very pleased to welcome Reb Beach here tonight. He's here on behalf of our friends at Suhr Guitars. So I know everybody's been enthusiastic about this and buzzing, so we are really happy to have him here. We are really happy that all you guys are here. Make sure that you see Brooke to get your pedal raffle. Reb and I will draw them at the end of the night. And without any further ado, please welcome Reb Beach.
All right. Looking good. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming to this wonderful thing that's going on here. I had no idea. I had no clue what this was, and Chris was just telling me about it. I think it's so great. And I had no idea that my friend Ted Poley would be here, or Neil Zaza, and Pete's here. Oh, I like the echo. And so what it is, this is my clinic. And I just, I play some guitar, I play some of the songs from my fusion stuff, and I talk and tell you how I got started in the music business, what it was like working with the great David Coverdale, and Kip Winger, and Don Dokken. So it's always a good time. People at the end say they had a great time, and I always have a great time. So let's get started. I'm going to just warm up a little bit and get things going here with my guitar. I just adjusted the action, so it might be out of tune a little. Let's see, we got to plug it in. It's important. Always put it through your strap. Can't tell you how many times I have forgotten to do that and stepped on it and pops out at really bad times, right before my solo. Here we go. Oh, yeah. She went out. These are the new Reb Beach models, and the things that's cool about them is it's not a solid piece of koa, so it's light as a feather. It looks exactly the same, sounds very similar, and it's beautiful to look at. It's just a koa top, which is really all you need, and an alder body. We looking good there. Okay. Maybe a little louder. Thank you, you guys. Thanks. So, when Guitar World magazine made a record with all the artists that were the guitar players that were doing well in 1989. So it was like me and Richie Sambora and Elliot Easton from the Cars, and they made this album called Guitars That Rule the World. So they liked my song a lot, and they put it the first on the album, and it was called Black Magic. So I'm looking at my publishing statements, and I see that Black Magic is selling in Japan. And I had no idea why. Like, it was like, you know, thousands of dollars. And I'm going, what is going on here? It turns out that a Japanese baseball team called the Hanshin Tigers of Osaka won the World Series in 1989 when that record came out, and they used that as their theme song. So they've been using it as their theme song for all these years, and they won the World Series again 3 months ago. So I made like a commercial for them and everything, you know. But whenever I go to Japan, now I have to play this song. They love Black Magic. They love that song. Right? I wrote this when I was a kid. People love it. It's a good, you know, solid instrumental song. Right in the middle of it, I asked David Coverdale to just say Black Magic with his giant voice. And I said, David, I'm going to count to 4 and then say Black Magic. I was recording him in the studio. And I went, okay, here we go. 1, 2, Black Magic. I'm like, no, David, I'm going to count to 4 and do it. You know, okay? Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, Black Magic. Okay, Rebel Darling, I've got it now. And so I counted out again. 1, 2, Black Magic. So we just used the one he did on 2. And you can hear You turn the music up like really. You didn't. It got really loud. So just turn the music down a little bit. I'm gonna do it one more time. All right, we can take it right from Thanks, you guys. That sounds way better. Thanks for doing that. Okay. So the next song I'm going to do, after I check this out, this one was a riff that I wrote when I was like, I don't know, just learning chords on guitar. I always thought that open chords were the coolest thing ever. And, when I was 13 years old, the albums that came out that year when I was learning guitar was the first Boston album, Kansas Left Overture, ELO, and Styx, Grand Illusion. So, that was music, really well-written, well-arranged music with great guitar playing. So, I just discovered, like, open chords from More Than a Feeling, was this open D. Right? And so, but that open, I always thought that was so cool. What if I moved it up? And then I heard other notes. I just used the open strings. Then I did one more cool, real 15-year-old thing. Was I thought it would be groundbreaking to use the whammy bar in a rhythm part. Who's ever done? Never been done by humankind. Which I don't know, but. I just thought that was cool when I was 15. So this is called Cutting Loose. I'm still 15. Okay. tape on the back of it. That's a good idea. All right, I think that should work. Yeah. I don't even really use these anymore. So, where were we? I was born in Baltimore. I moved to Pittsburgh when I was very young, and my parents were watching a TV show called Mannix that was a lot like Columbo. It was like a detective thing. And the beginning of the show had this great song. It was like a swing song, like a Sinatra thing. But and I was 4 years old, and I went over to the piano, and I started playing it. My mother screamed to my husband, screamed to her husband, my husband. We went out last night. Screamed to her husband, to my father, Richard, he's a child prodigy. And it turns out, no, I wasn't a child prodigy. I just had a really good ear. After that, I had a stage mom, and she thrust me up onto the stage. I was Pippin in second grade. I was Oliver, think about the sun, Pippin. I was on stage. I feel comfortable on stage. I've always been an extrovert. I was the class clown. My father wasn't hearing it at all and didn't want to know about it. And he took me to an aptitude test place where they test you for aptitudes to see where your aptitudes lie in life and where you should work. And because he wanted proof. And at the end of it, they said, Mr. Beach, your son has no aptitudes in anything whatsoever except one thing, music. And he's got to do music or else he'll fail at everything. So Dad was cool about it after that, And my father was tone deaf. He would come see us in concert, and he'd just say, it sounded like a giant rabbit just thumping on the ground. Because all he heard was just boom, 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 boom. That's all he heard. He was tone deaf. So I moved to Florida because I had a friend. When I got out of high school, I had a friend who played in a band, and he invited me to come play in his band. He fired his guitar player and hired me, but I ended up playing keyboards a lot in the band, which I didn't like, and it wasn't going anywhere. I was playing Jump on the keyboards, and I moved to New York City and got a job as a singing waiter. I had a friend who lived there, moved in with him. I was a singing waiter in the Bowery, on like wherever it was, what street, I don't know, but it was right next to CBGB's. And I would hang out at music stores, just like this one, Manny's, Sam Ash, and there was a guitar store, amazing guitar store called called Rudy's Music Stop, Rudy Pensa, and him and John Suhr. John Suhr was the master builder there, and I would go there every single day. Before I went, to work, I would go and I would play basically this guitar. I fell in love with this guitar, and I ended up borrowing money from my rich brother, and I paid him back eventually to buy the guitar. And when I bought it, I was doing Twisted Sister, and I went back to the studio, and then Dee Snider said, "Looks like a coffee table." It kind of does, I guess, but. I love a beautiful piece of wood. It really stands out when it's hanging with a bunch of other guitars, and I'm very proud of this guitar. But anyway, I heard about an audition at those music stores hanging out there for Fiona on Atlantic Records, and it was way out in Long Island. So I got on the train and I went out there, and I got the audition. It was a bunch of guys in spandex and the big hair, and I didn't have the big hair yet. I got it later, but. They liked me just because I was wearing, the same thing they were wearing, jeans and a T-shirt. They said, if you can play guitar, you got the gig. So I got the gig. And it was playing on her album. I did all the guitar. It took me 2 weeks. I had replaced a bunch of guitar players that weren't right for it, that they didn't like what they did. Anyway, 2 weeks later, Beau Hill, the producer, walked in and said, listen, Reb, there's no more budget for this thing. We've had so many guitar players. And so it's going to be a little light. I don't want to insult you, but how does $500 sound for payment for this thing? I said, great, $500, awesome, because I was broke. And, back then, $500 was more, but it should have been $5,000. And, the guy really ripped me off. But what Beau Hill did do was he told all the other producers at Atlantic Studios, big producers, hey, there's this kid. He's a nice kid, funny, good guy, good to work with, does his job, plays great, and he'll do your album for $500. Well, I did Shaka Khan, Howard Jones, Kenny Loggins, Roger Daltrey, the Bee Gees, as that kid who does it for $500. But eventually I joined the union and everything. But it was, I have Beau Hill to thank for that, for getting my name out there, And I did a bunch of records as a session player. I remember just taking the subway with my gig bag, and I would always see just, Will Lee doing the David Letterman show, and, just all these cool musicians. It was a great time. And, I'd be sitting waiting for my turn to play, and I'd just be in there, and I would just kind of noodle around, And Beau Hill walked by. He said, "What's that?" I said, "I don't know. I'm just playing, jamming. Just like a kind of a cool riff, He said, No. Every time I walk by here, you're playing something else that's just totally a song. You need an arranger. You need someone to put these ideas together and make these into songs, because this stuff is all really good." I'm like, really? Oh my God, not Kip Winger. Don't make it Kip Winger. Please, not Kip Winger. It was Kip Winger. I did not like Kip Winger. He did not like me. We did sessions together, and I thought he was full of himself because he talks like this, like he's Morris the cat, and he's sarcastic all the time. And I met other people from Denver, and they kind of talk like this too. It's just the way they talk, some of them. It's just a thing. Anyway, so they Beau put us in a room together, and Kip didn't want to be there either. And he said, "All right, play me something." So that's a chorus. Right there, that's a chorus. I'm like, that's a chorus? Like, you can sing over that? What would you possibly sing over that? Trust me, it's a chorus. We need to go to the key of A. So he turns on the drum machine. Boom, chicka, chicka, boom, chicka. Play something in A. I'm like, all right. That's the verse. Thank you very much. Like, what do you mean that's the verse? I don't even know what I played. I just played something randomly. I don't even know what that is. I recorded it. I'll rewind it, and you learn it. And that's what he rewound it, I learned it. We wrote the whole thing in one morning. We wrote 17. The first time we ever sat in a room together, we wrote 17, the basis for Time to Surrender, and Madeleine in one day. And after that, he was my hero. And I followed him around like a little dog. What are we doing today, Kip? Come on, Kip. We became roommates, when my father met Kip Winger, he said, "Rebbe, that boy's a shark, and you're Bambi with a penis. You stick by him, and you're going to go far." He was right. Kip got me Dokken, Kip got me Alice Cooper, Kip got me Whitesnake, because he's just a businessman. He'll get right on the phone and call anybody cold. He doesn't care. Not me. I'm just a wimp, But the combination of Kip and I was perfect, because I had something that he didn't have, and he's got something that I don't have. We're like, kind of like Lennon and McCartney. We're just total opposites. I'm just blind talent. I come up with beautiful melodies and all this stuff, and great riffs, and I don't know what to do with them. He's an arranger, and he's studied at Juilliard and knows exactly what to do with all of my stuff, and it's a perfect marriage. Except I'm the wife, which kind of sucks. No, easy. No, I'm not putting women down in there. Just I'm a man, and okay, so. So I'm going to play 17. I sent this track. I just made a little track at home, sang the background vocals on it, and asked Skip if he would sing 17. He said, send it to me. And I sent it to him. 10 minutes later, he sends me this. It sounds better than the record. It's unbelievable. The guy's voice is insane. Thanks. Here we go. Thank you. Very nice of you. Great. So, the next song, Winger, when we started doing well, we opened for Bon Jovi, and we did our first show with them at a stadium, and I was walking to sound check, and I saw Richie Sambora way on the other side of the field. And Richie Sambora, like, looked at me. Like, oh, my God, he's looking at me. He goes, Red Beach. Like, oh, my God, Richie Sambora knows my name. Couldn't believe it. And he started walking towards me. So he walks up to me, and he goes, Red Beach, you are the luckiest guitar player in rock. I said, why is that, Richie? He said, because you got the longest solo on the radio. Whoa, yeah, I mean, it's great that I know. It's really great, you know. He's like, have you heard my solos? Like, oh, yeah, I know what you mean, buddy. You know, his solos are short, really short solos. He doesn't really get to just wail. And Kip wrote this song with this beautiful outro that I could play in Mixolydian, which is one of my favorite modes to play in. And it was on MTV, and it was very good for my career. I've had, some great musicians like Marcus Miller and, these huge, massive, famous players say, yeah, man, that solo you did was cool in that song, And I just kind of channeled Alan Holdsworth in it a little bit. So this one's Headed for Heartbreak. guys. So after I did that Fiona album, Fiona got a gig in a movie as an actress in a movie with Bob Dylan and lead role. And she invited me to be in the movie in Bob Dylan's band. This movie was the worst movie ever made by any human being. This movie was so bad that the director was murdered in his apartment a week after it came out. I mean, I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but it's just really weird. The director was Richard Marquand, who directed Return of the Jedi and Jagged Edge with Glenn Close. You know, this was a good director, but why he made this movie, I have no idea. But it was great for me because they paid me really well, and I got to jam with Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan comes in at 10 in the morning with a bottle of Jim Beam, and he walks by me, and he makes that noise. As he walks by, I'm like, oh my God, Bob Dylan made that kind of Bob Dylan-y noise, like he's gonna sing something. And he walked over to his side of the stage, and he picked up a guitar, and he goes, let's jam the blues. And so he plays a chord, though, and it's out of tune. And so he goes to tune it. Now, this guitar has a Floyd Rose on it, which means that the strings clamp down right here on the nut, and these tuners don't do anything. You keep turning it, you're going to break the string. Right here on the back, they got these fine tuners, and that's how you tune the guitar. This way the guitar stays in tune. But, you know, he just keeps on turning the string here with nothing happening. You would think that Bob Dylan would hear that nothing's happening to the string as he turns the thing, but he didn't. He's just, and nothing's happening. So I had to say something. Excuse me, Mr. Dylan. Hi, I'm Reb. Listen, I just wanted to tell you that's a Floyd Rose. It's a whammy bar. So these tuners don't work. You have to tune it back here on these fine tuners. And these newfangled things. He takes it off, doesn't even try. Picks up another guitar. And we jam the blues. And he just sang any words, you know, on a Sunday, driving in my car, and it was great. It was amazing. And so the next morning at breakfast, I hear this, hey, whammy bar. We gonna jam the blues again today? He called me whammy bar for the next 2 weeks. Hey, there's whammy bar over there. The director started calling me whammy bar. Everyone is like, hey, whammy bar, can you move a little to the right there? I should open a bar and call it the whammy bar. It's a great idea, right? Yeah. I got to meet so many people working with, all these bands that I've been in. It's just been, it's been a wonderful life, really. I've gotten to meet my heroes. The first Alice Cooper show I did, I was a huge Sammy Hagar fan, and we did a gig in Cabo Wabo at Sammy Hagar's club, and Sammy jammed with us, and so did Slash, and it was very cool. And Sammy actually came up to me. He said, man, you're a great guitar player, man. And he sounded just like Richie Sambora. That's my rock star voice, Man, you're such a great guitar player. How would you like to have my I Can't Drive 55 Gibson Red Explorer? I'm like, are you kidding? Would I? Yeah. This is amazing. Thank you, Sammy. This is so cool. Wait right there. I'm going to go get it. And so he left. And I waited for 45 minutes, and still nothing. But then Ryan Roxy, the other guitar player in the band, came out, and he said, Reb, you're not going to believe it. Sammy Hagar said he's going to give me his I Can't Drive 55 Gibson Red Explorer. It turns out he left the building, and he was just drunk. And he was just wanted to see, the looks on our faces, which was, okay. So then I got Dokken. I remember telling Alice, I got this Dokken gig, Alice, and Alice was so cool. He said, Alice Cooper's always been a stepping stone for musicians, and have good luck with that and have fun. And Dokken was a great gig, great for my career. because I was kind of taking George Lynch's place, and that's not easy. When I got there, they had all these Beatles songs. You know, they had one called "Erase the Slate." Was Erase the slate. I'm like, no, no, no. You're Dokken. Oh, come on. Dokken's like, it's got to be that, right? I said, give me this song. I'm going to take it home for the night. Give me a night with this. I'm going to write a riff. All of these songs need riffs, badass riffs, right? So I came up with this one. I've seen people online playing it, and they always do it wrong, and I don't even know. I can't play the way they play it. It's crazy. Like they put their pinkies way out. It's so easy. I only play on one string when I play it. I'm only playing the A string. I just hammer on the low E string. So here's "Erase the Slate." I'm going to attempt the solo that I did, 40 years ago, and see if I can, get something close to it. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Erase the slate. This one will wake you up in the morning. Oh, okay. Thank you. I did, yeah. I changed it a lot. No, that's fine where it is. This got moved. There we go. Okay. Okay. The next one is just improv. I'm pretty good at improving, and I only know a couple scales. I play in pentatonic and the minor scale. And, once you know the major scale, you pretty much know all the scales. You just move it around, If you move a major scale around, you can get Mixolydian and Lydian and all that. So I never really learned theory. I just learned a major scale. But so here's me playing over a very pretty, slow, clean guitar chords that someone showed me a long time ago. It's like the only jazz chords I know. But it's nice to play over. And I come up with different things every time I do it. It's completely different every time I do it. 2 nights ago, I wrote a melody over it, and I'm hoping somebody recorded it because it was the best melody ever. Anyway, who knows what I'll do today. Here it is. It might sound a little different to the sound guy whose name I forgot. What was your name? Ray. Yeah, this is just one guitar, so it sounds a little different. Thank you, everyone. All right, moving right along here. At the end of this thing, we're going to do the giveaway, and then I'm going to sign anything you need me to sign, take pictures, and, you know, hang out with you guys. All right, what's next? I have to talk about guitar. I generally, you know, I've seen clinics that I just thought were really boring when the guy just talked about guitar and he handed out worksheets and everything. But I realized that some of you may play guitar, so maybe I should talk about it. How many people play guitar? Well, okay, you know, less than usual. So I'll talk briefly about guitar here. There's certain things that I do that are a little different. I'm known for my tapping, and I taught myself tapping. Van Halen came out and certainly gave me the idea, but we didn't have MTV back then. We just had the back of the album, and there was a picture of him on the back of the album, and there was fire coming out of his back, and his mouth was open, and his one finger was like this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how he's getting that sound. He's tapping with that finger. How do I do that? Well, I hold my pick with that finger, so I'm going to use this finger that's right next to it. And then, you know, you see guys tapping, and you can tell they just don't put any effort into it whatsoever. They just start tapping with that finger and say, hey, I know how to tap. Check this out, mister. And here's how it sounds. You know, and there's bad notes in there every time. It's not, you know, that's not in the scale, dude. And so, you know, it sounds better if you go up and down. It's not just down or just up. It's up and down, like a pendulum, and you have to practice it. And I wanted to go up with tapping. How do you go up? I wanted to go up a scale, like a saxophone player. And so I'm going up an E minor scale. There I am on the tap note. How do I get to the next string? Well, I could hammer it with my first finger, like that. But my first finger's not used to hammering anything. Someone told me the other day that that's how Nuno Betancourt does it. He hammers with his first finger. That doesn't work for me, so I had to figure out another way. And I'm like, well, wait a second. My ring finger is actually sitting on the string right there, on the D string, the next string I need to go to. Why don't I just pluck it? Like that. It's already sitting on the string. It works for me. You know, Joe Satriani doesn't need to do that. He can do it with one hand while this hand gets coffee. You know, that's the only way I could figure out to do it. Thank you. So, the other thing, some guy was painting my house when I was a kid, and he played guitar. And he picked up my guitar and he said, let me show you a lick that's going to change your life. And he showed me this lick. Just bar the 12th fret in E here, and bend that G string 14th fret right up to the note that you're barring there on the B string. And you may say, why is that cool? That's the old Chuck Berry lick. We've heard that a million times. Well, I started messing with it, and I said, well, what if you add some hammer-ons and pull-offs on that 14th fret high E string and B string? That's Freebird. What if you just keep messing around? Right? So if you watch me play, that's my go-to right there. I'm always in that spot no matter what key I'm in. If I'm in A, I mean, I start there. That's, if I get lost, I go right back to that place. Other things are bending. I see people with vibrato. That's weird vibrato. Just sliding up to a note is cool. Whenever I'm doing solos with Kip, he'll say, bend up to that note. It's so much cooler when you bend or even just slide into something. When you start a solo, I mean, that's a lick that, I wrote. I wrote that lick. That's a lick right there. Just sliding into it makes it sound cooler, And then I have this thing I call boxes. This is the last thing. Where, like if you're in A, everyone knows the pentatonic scale. Right? That's what you learn. For some reason, everyone learns that first. I did. Everyone does. And I just take those boxes that are here in the middle. I call them boxes because they're just 2 frets away, so it feels like a box. How many different licks can I play with 4 notes? I could just keep going, right? And so it's those boxes in the pentatonic. There they are. And so this guy in a band called Sweetwater was opening for Winger, and he said, do this thing where you mush your finger down in the box. It said it's a riff from AC/DC, Whole Lotta Rosie. All I'm doing is I just mush my finger down and bar that 7th fret. So now when I play these boxes, instead of just sounding like... Now, if I mush my finger down, it really breaks up the rhythm, so it's not just like da 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 da. It's like bat and bat and ba da and bat and ba da, that kind of thing. I love that syncopated thing. Love funky stuff. There you go. And that is me talking about guitar. If you have any questions about stuff, I am going to start giving lessons, official Reb Beach at whatever it is, gmail.com. But if you have any questions, I will take questions, and then you can ask me when I'm signing stuff too if you have any questions. So I'm going to play the blues now. I have a dinky thing I found online, some blues thing I found online that I'm just going to play the blues over. It's really long, so I'm going to sing. I'm not a singer. I'm a good background singer, but I'm just going to, sing Red House and play the blues. I adjusted the action back there, and I did it a little too low, and so it's kind of dinking out a little bit. All right. So it might dink out. There's got to be a joke in there somewhere. We're trying to think, how can I... 1, 2, 3... There's a red house over yonder, babe. That's where my baby stays. There's a red house over yonder. That's where my baby stays. day. Oh, wait a minute, something wrong. This key won't unlock the door. I said there's something gotta be wrong. He won't unlock the door. I got a bad feeling. And my baby don't live here no more. That's all right, let me tell you why. Thanks, guys. You just kind of go off into na-na land doing that stuff. I kind of lost it at the end. One time I played a solo. I played a perfect solo once on a Winger record. It was a song called Witness. If you ever listen to it, you can tell it's first take. It's like a 2-minute solo. And I tried all morning to play on this song, and it was bad. And we were trying to beat Headed for Heartbreak. And Kip was really worried, and so was I. And we went out to lunch and came back. And he said, what are we going to do? I'm like, I don't know. So I said, Kip, I'm going to pound 2 beers right now, and I did. And here we go. And I did it, and first take, and you can really tell. That's one of my best solos. A little out there. So, David Coverdale. David Coverdale is lead singer in Whitesnake. Kip sent my tape to him, and it was back and forth. I wasn't sure if I was going to get it. I'm pretty sure I didn't have it. They wanted Earl Slick, but he didn't sing, and that's why I got the gig again, because I sang. That's how I got Alice, because I sang. And David called me and said, "Rebel, you're a snake now." I'm like, all right, you know. And it was a great, great honor. You know, I wrote a tribute to him last night and just posted it on Facebook because he recently retired a few days ago. And, I mean, the whole band knew he retired 3 years ago, you know. But I'm very sentimental about it because, you know, being up there with that legend, he's legendary. I'll never forget here in Still of the Night for the first time. But I've got some, I got great David Coverdale stories, one of my favorite ones is we were doing a big rock show. It was like Hellfest. And David, like, before I tell that story, David was intimidating. Like, I've been in the band for 20 years, and I think I stayed in it for so long partly because I avoided him for 6 years because I was terrified of him. Because he's a giant person. He's huge, and he challenges you. Like, he's quick. He's really quick with everything. And he tests you on what he said yesterday. Do you remember what I said yesterday, Ribble? Yes, I remember. What did I say? I'm like, I don't remember. Of course, you weren't listening. He's just, he really puts you on the spot all the time. But he was great to work with, treated us all so well. I would hear him coming into the arena, because when he walks into any building, he says, "Bless this house and all in it." And he has a big entourage with him of people that take care of him and everything, And so I would just hide in the closet as soon as I heard him until he would walk by. And that happened for years. And where's Ribble? I was just never around. But David used to come in. It was like being on a pirate ship with a pirate captain. He would come in and he liked to change things every day, which wasn't good for Tommy Aldridge, the 73-year-old drummer. Tommy, we're going to change this. We're going to make this different again. But David would come in and he'd say, "I want something like da da da," and so I'd go like, "Yes, that's it, Rebel. Oh, perfect, wonderful." And so that's how we would end the song that night, And so we had a big show, Hellfest. It was the biggest show of, the year for us, and it was 60,000 people. That day, John Lord died, the keyboard player from Deep Purple. And David was friends with him, and he was really upset, and he came to us. He always came to us and hung out with us before the shows, and he said, "Oh, David, gather round, everybody. Of course, Lordy died, and I'm going to make some sort of announcement during the show. I'm not sure when, so horse's eyes on me, gentlemen." Like, okay, David, we'll be watching you to get the cue from when you're going to do it. So we're out there rocking. It is, a killer show, and it comes time for my solo. And I'm getting pumped, because you got to go out there, and everyone leaves the stage, and it's just me. And I got to, just wail and just kill, slay everyone. You have to have that attitude, It's very, just aggressive. And I'm getting ready to go. I'm just about to run out there, and David goes, "Stop! Hold everything. I have something to say. Ladies and gentlemen, today we lost my dear, dear friend, John Lord. He died from cancer. Cancer, what a horrible, debilitating disease. It eats you, literally eats you from the inside. Ladies and gentlemen, Red Beach." I go out there, nobody is looking at me. It is just people, there's people crying, "Oh, John Lord, they were friends." It was the worst solo I ever played in my whole entire life in front of 60,000 people. Most of those people can't see the stage, they just hear it. It was really, really bad. But that's one of my favorite Coverdale stories, and I've got a lot of them. Okay, so now is time for questions. If anyone has a question for me, doesn't matter what it is. I'm looking at you. It's amazing how young you are, and you're a fan of, that's so great. She loves my guitar playing, that's cool. You got one? My whammy bar technique. She's asking how my whammy bar technique is so precise. It's not that precise. It's, one thing is I keep my whammy bar really tight, which Van Halen didn't do. His was loose, and he would grab it with his pinky. I can't do that because, for one thing, I got to do the Brad Gillis thing. See, Brad Gillis is the one who gave me the idea to get a whammy bar. That video was one of the first videos on MTV. Don't Tell Me You Love Me. And you know, I rushed right out and I bought a guitar with a whammy bar, a Fender G&L. And I played 6 hours a day doing anything I could do to make crazy noises because I was a big fan of Tom Schultz in Boston, who pointed at his guitar and made it sound like a hyena, right? Like, oh my God, I want to do that to freak people out, right? You know, and so I did anything I could. I tried to make it sound like Mom's running the vacuum cleaner upstairs. I love that stuff, you know? Anything I can do. What happens if I take that string and I put it between the pickups? You know, anything you can do to make crazy noises, it freaks people out. And I did that, so I messed around with the whammy bar. And then, you know, with the whammy bar, especially this thing I do with the harmonics, people ask me about it all the time. This guitar isn't doing good harmonics today, but you just mute all the strings except for the one you're whacking out with the flesh of your finger right there. And then you just learn to press down the whammy bar a whole step. Yeah, I guess I am pretty good on the whammy bar. What, for my what? What's that? No, I stole it from Adrian Ballou, believe it or not, who I'm doing a gig with on the cruise. I'm doing the prog rock cruise with a new fusion band I'm putting together, which I'm really excited about. Yeah. You had a question. Me and who? Me and Kip. Oh, writing Great Escape. Yeah. It went into another song. It actually goes into another song. It goes into whatever that other song is. It transitions. It is really cool. Yeah. I mean, we should have had that thing rolling the whole time because there's so many great moments like that. I do. Yeah, that's a good one. I was just messing around. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I got lucky with that one. Thanks. Anyone else? Question about anything? It's not important. We can roll on here and get to the free stuff. What's that? That's so great. That's the first time anyone's ever asked me that. I love that. I ripped off a song from Judas Priest. And I forget what song it is, but it goes... Those are the chords in it. We wrote that song in a half an hour. Yeah, because Easy Come, Easy Go and Can't Get Enough were not on that record, In the Heart of the Young. And they were going to make Miles Away the first single. And we knew that would be the kiss of death. We'd be labeled a ballad band. And we needed a rock song to open up with. So Kip wrote Easy Come, Easy Go in like an hour. And we wrote Can't Get Enough in a half an hour. And I stole whatever that riff was from them. But so the verse... I don't think it changes. I think that's it. I use these open strings a lot. but I don't think there's really a change. Are you sure you mean the verse? Is it the verse though? It's all right. It feels good. No change is understood. I think it's Point of No Return is the song I ripped off. Or you don't have to be old to be wise. It was like one of those songs. The coolest part of that song. Open stuff. The one that everyone messes up is Madeline, which is yeah. I don't know. We don't need to get into that. I'm going to play one more song, and then we're going to give away free stuff. This song is called Little Robots. Again, I wrote it a long, long time ago. It's got a section in it that has these little keyboards that sound like little robots to me, so I called it Little Robots. It's a funk song. It's the hardest song I play tonight, so let's do that. Someone just bought this amp. These are PT15, Sir PT15. It's a 15-watt head. It's totally loud, and it weighs nothing, but it's a tube amp. It's really, really cool. It sounds pretty good. All right, here we go. Last song, Little Robots. That sounds cute with a girl. Thank you so much, you guys. This has been great. I had such a good time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I just loved it, and I can't wait to meet all of you that want to hang out. Let's